Today we are learning how to multiply by a monomial. So there's a couple steps that'll help you through every multiplication problem using monomials. And that is, first, you multiply the numerical coefficients together. And second, you multiply the variable coefficients together using your exponent laws. So to help you understand this better, let's work through an example. So if we are given the two monomials of 3x and 7x, we know that first, by our steps, we have to multiply the numerical coefficients together. So in this case, that's the 3 and the 7. So 3 times 7. And then secondly, we are to multiply the variable coefficients together, which is the x and the x. So x times x. Now we simplify as follows. 3 times 7 is 21. And x times x, using our exponent laws, is going to be x, 1 plus 1, because we know the product rule tells us that when you multiply exponents of the same base, you add their coefficients together. This now gives us 21 x squared and then to simplify one step further, we multiply the two together to get rid of the brackets. And that is our final answer, 21x squared, using our two steps to multiply a monomial together. Let's try one more example with a little bit more to deal with. So negative 3x to the 4 times 6x squared y. Now hopefully you notice that there's two variables that we're working with, x's and y's. To multiply these monomials, let's use our step. First we need to multiply the numerical coefficients together, so the negative 3 and 6. And then we need to multiply our variable coefficients together, so we're going to group them in like terms. So x to the 4 times x to the 2, and then we'll keep our y's together. And now negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. X to the 4 times x to the 2, using our exponent laws. And y is still the same. And finally, we have negative 18 times x to the 6 times y, and then we multiply everything together to get rid of our brackets and get to our final answer. Negative 18 x to the 6 y. So if we have a situation where the term we are multiplying by is not a monomial, such as the one I have here, we can see that we're multiplying a monomial by a binomial. We simply use our distributive property from yesterday. So we're going to multiply our 3x times our first 3x in the brackets and times our 6 in the brackets. So 3x times 3x, we multiply our numerical coefficients first, and then we multiply our variable coefficients together, and then plus 3x times 6, we just multiply our numerical coefficients together, and then finish with our variable coefficients. And since the 6 does not have a variable coefficient, we leave it at x. And we finish with 9 x, 1 plus 1, plus 18x, which brings us to 9x squared plus 18x. And that is our simplified version of the first question. We're now going to work through a little bit more of an involved question. So again, we use our same rules. We're going to use our distributive property first, multiplying the coefficient on the outside by everything inside the brackets, which will give us 2x squared times x, and then plus 2x squared times 4y. So that's our distributive property on the first brackets. And now the second brackets is going to be 5x times 3xy minus 5x times 11y. And it is important to remember that this 11y is negative. Next, we will do the steps that we learned before. So multiply our numerical coefficients together, and then our variable coefficients. So we have 2x, 2 plus 1, plus 8, and our variable coefficients are different, so we can't combine them. And then we have 15, and y does not have another y to combine with. And then we have minus negative 55xy. The next line can be simplified to 2x cubed plus 8x squared y minus 15x squared y plus 55xy. Our final step is to see if we can simplify this last statement any further. And as you can see here, we have two terms that have the exact same variables. They both have x squareds and a y, so we can combine those two. So we have 2x cubed minus 7x squared y plus 55xy. And that is our final simplified answer because, again, all of these now have different variables associated with them, so we cannot combine any further. Now to learn how to divide by a monomial. The steps are as follows. So first you want to rewrite the question so that each term in the polynomial is divided by the monomial. Then you divide each pair of monomials using your exponent laws. Let's look at an example here. We have 12x squared y 5 divided by negative 2xy cubed. So each term in the polynomial is already being divided by the monomial because there's only one term. And now we follow our exponent rules. So first we divide the numerical coefficients. So 12 divided by negative 2 is negative 6. Then we know that x squared divided by x, because we have to do like terms divided by like terms only, by exponent laws, is x. 2 minus 1. And then our y's, we have y 5 minus 3. Again, this is the quotient rule. That tells us when dividing exponents of the same base, we subtract the numbers. And now we are left with negative 6x y squared. Our final example here is 8x squared plus 18x minus 6x cubed, all divided by 2x. So this is a situation where we will have to do step 1. We will have to rewrite it so that each term in the polynomial is divided by the monomial. So we do that as follows. We would do 8x squared divided by 2x plus 18x divided by 2x minus 6x cubed divided by 2x. So as you can see, I've rewritten it so that every term in this polynomial gets divided by this monomial. And now we proceed with our exponent laws, specifically the quotient rule. So first we're going to divide all of the numerical coefficients together, and then we will divide each of the variables that are similar with each other. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, and x squared divided by x, we subtract the value of their exponents. 18 divided by 2 is 9, x, 1 minus 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3, x, 3 minus 1. And we finish with 4x plus 9, x to the 0, minus 3x squared, which leaves us with 4x plus 9 times 1, because x to the 0 is always 1, minus 3x squared. And our final line would be 4x plus 9 minus 3x squared. Now you're always encouraged to write your final answer in order of decreasing exponents. So we should have our 3x squared out first, then our 4x, and then our 9. And that is your final answer. And it also concludes our lesson on multiplying and dividing monomials.